Hi, this is Jamie West-Oram from the Fixx, and we're going to answer the big 5 questions, or attempt to do so. What's my favorite guitar? That's always a tricky one, but I'm going to show you first of all a guitar that was made by, I know it's supposed to be one guitar, but you'll understand what I'm on about in a minute. This is a Schecter, a guitar made by John Suhr, put together by him at Rudy's Guitars, the old one back in 48th Street. I was always looking in those great shops in 48th Street. There were far more of them back then in the early 80s, and I looked in the shop window, typical. I liked the look of, there were quite a few of these lined up, and I tried one and I really liked it. And then John says, wait, I've got another one in the back you might want to try. And it was slightly different. There was something different about the way the neck and the body were a mismatch, and that appealed to me. I don't know, it's not important musically, but there's something appealing about it. And I liked the sound and I liked the feel of it, and I had to have it. It's a fantastic guitar. It weighs a ton. It's made of koa, EMG pickups, etc., etc. It's a much loved guitar, played into the ground, pretty much worn out. So I got a message from John, I think it's 2012 or 13. Would you like me to build you a new guitar? So I thought for a nanosecond, and then of course I wanted him to do that. Visited the Suhr factory, which was an amazing place in Lake Elsinore, California. And I thought, okay, we're going to discuss this guitar, talk about, different kind of woods, what would I like, pickups. But John goes, okay, there's the guitar over there. And they'd already made this guitar. Unfortunately, it's not here. I can't show it to you because it's in storage. It's a fantastic guitar. It's a replica of this one. EMG pickups, whammy and all the rest of it, and it's fantastic. It's very versatile, and it's got, to be honest, got a bit more sparkle than the old Woody that I've got here. The EMGs on this one are active pickups, as they are on the replica, the John Suhr one. And the original guitar I had passive. They were passive EMG pickups, but they did have this very, very clear sound, very clean. I only had that guitar for about a year. That's the one I used on the first album mainly. But this is kind of my favorite as well. This one's an old 61 Epiphone Olympic. And what happened, I went to a local shop in Chichester nearby, and I tried this old guitar. My wife Bibi was with me, and she could tell I loved it, and I was playing. This is such a great guitar, but I've got, I don't need it. Okay, so go home. I went out the next day, came back home, and there was that guitar in its case on the floor. So that's a different kind of favorite, different reason to have a favorite guitar. It's lovely to play. It's got a really nice neck. I play it a lot acoustically, coming up with riffs and things like that, and sometimes use it for recording. My Desert Island album would be My Life in the Bush of Ghosts by David Byrne and Brian Eno. This album was played to, not just to me, but the whole band by Rupert Hine one day when we were doing the Shuttered Room album. And I'm not alone, we all loved it straight away and intrigued by it. It was way ahead of its time. It's often thought of as being one of the first sampling albums. They took recordings, we call them field recordings, from all over the world and added music, chopped them up and added music. For example, there's a track on there that has a recording of an exorcism with music. It's very funky, very rhythmic, and creepy and scary and all sorts of things at the same time. has a fantastic energy. There's a recording of a preacher delivering his thing, and they put that to music. Again, very rhythmic and energetic and mysterious. There's a recording of a Lebanese mountain singer that was put to music as well, and that is really eerie and beautiful and magical. Anyway, it was an experimental album, but it's one of those albums. I don't know how many copies I had, but I wore them out. It's one of these albums you can hear over and over again and hear something new, and every time you hear it, it has an effect on you. You are transported. So I've always been a fan of both those people, Eno and Byrne, and I had the privilege through my wife Bibi because she was friends with Eno, so I got to know him and became friends. And eventually, he invited me to play on some of his recordings, which was a great privilege and also a lot of fun. I think the clue is that they're very inquisitive people. They want to know, they want to explore, they want to find things out, and I think that's the mark of a great artist. What's my biggest guitar culture pet peeve? I don't really have any strong complaints generally. I like all different styles of guitar playing, anything from Wes Montgomery to Charlie Christian to Robert Johnson to Robert Fripp. Having worked with a few other guitarists, I think I've liked all the guitarists I've worked with, but I've seen other guitarists who make the mistake of monopolizing the situation. We guitar players we're known as ego trippers. I don't know if I am. I probably am, just as bad as anyone else, but you can make more of a contribution by holding back. If you listen to, say, the soloing of those great blues players like Albert King and B.B. King and Freddie King, there'll be a flurry of notes and then nothing. And then another flurry of notes, nothing. And then just one note and then a gap. And there's a clue there. I think when you hear that silence, you hear something, you go, what was that? And it's gone. So you're listening for it again. Oh, there it goes again. It's like, maybe hearing a bird song. Some of them just go on and on and on, and others, you just hear a burst of it and then it disappears. So I think that's it. And also, obviously, you heard this all before, but making sure your part is right for the song, making sure that your part interacts well with the other parts, and most importantly with the singing. And sometimes just a great steady groove is something that becomes invisible after a while. That's the thing that's the best kind of part often, rather than a continual burst of dazzling notes, which I like to hear that, but not all the time. Which guitar hero of mine might shock fans of the Fixx and other things? Well, Neil Young. I love his albums. I love everything he does. People think of him, he's a really unique, innovative songwriter, totally true to himself, never sells out, competent acoustic guitar player, bad electric player. He's not good, but he's brilliant. He's rubbish, but he's brilliant at the same time. If you hear the solo in Cinnamon Girl, it's just one note, kind of clashing with open strings and things like that. And his playing is loud and messy. There's the acoustic side, the soft but rhythmic acoustic side of his playing. And then there's the loud, proud, loud lead playing and the big chords. I love that. The technique is it's neither here nor there, it's the sound. My secret weapon, my MXR stereo chorus, which I bought new in 1981. It just gives a nice kind of panoramic shimmer. I like to keep it in reserve and then just step on it at the right moment, and then it sends things sideways. It's just got 3 knobs on, and I usually set them the same way. It probably is part of the signature sound, yeah, but I feel I know how to use it because I've had it for a long time. The only thing with that, the MXR stereo, of course, you've got to have 2 amps. It sounds great with 2 amps. It doesn't sound good with 1 amp.